stress. How big is the playground? Yes. 7. That is according to him, 6 by 6. That means his mattress is square.
Thank you very much. Have you understood everything? Yes. All right. So we're going to look at the extended family.
New curriculum is going on well. Teachers are teaching, they are following the syllabus that was put in place by NCDC. And I feel when I carry out support supervision with my fellow administrators, teachers are following the guidelines of NCDC while teaching. The only challenge that is still in place is that we are having the pioneer sitting for these exams this year. And like any other teacher, we are really still in the balance of how the questions will be. UNEB came out last year and said they are going to provide sample questions to all schools so that learners are able to know how questions will be set, to test them on the questions that we sit for come 2024 ending. But we are still waiting. We are still waiting for those sample questions because, to be sincere, much as we are following the syllabus, we need to be guided on how the questions will be. These learners need to be guided how the questions will look like so that they're able to prepare in that line. The content is given to them. Teachers are helping them. They discover on their own, because now with this new curriculum it is learner-centered. They discover the content on their own. Teachers guide them, because the teacher now is a facilitator. By the end of it all, these learners need to discover more on how the question setup will be. How will they be able to approach the questions? And therefore, I can't really detach myself from the rest of the head teachers across the country of saying that UNEB really needs to come out with the sample questions as it had promised and as it had suggested earlier, so that we are able to take our learners through these sample questions and they get to use it to their answering approaches. Thank you so much. I hope the major challenge we are facing now currently as private schools is limited instructional materials. Yes, we as Standard High, we have tried to purchase instructional materials. Most especially, we have tried to buy more books to add on what government provides. We are very grateful to the government of the Republic of Uganda, for it has tried really to support the private sector. Because it wouldn't be easy for government to come out and say, much as we are giving books to government institutions, let us also think about the private counterparts in the same ministry. So we are very grateful the government of Republic of Uganda, through the Ministry of Education and Sports, for they have provided instructional materials. But these instructional materials are not enough. Now, the fact that they are not enough, the biggest challenge we are finding is that we are incurring a lot of costs in purchasing more instructional materials. For example, books. If government comes out and gives you 40 books of chemistry and yet you have 150 students in one class, you must find ways of getting like more 100 books, which is very expensive. Because if you're buying one book at 20,000, that will take you to approximately 2 million for one class. So it becomes very expensive. Number two, this new curriculum is slightly expensive in such a way that it is practical. It is more practical. And therefore, what does that explain? That explains that you must have what to use practically. Every subject, across all subjects, you must have what to use. So you find that the budget for academics, when it comes to these subjects, is very high. So we're finding it a very bigger challenge, but we are maneuvering through, and we know that with time to come, we shall get to use it and we shall be able to thrive. Then lastly, about the challenges, I see the bigger challenge of the bigger challenge of integration of ICT in teaching and learning. You find that by the setup of this new curriculum, we need to integrate ICT in teaching and learning process. Yes, teachers have the skills, but the challenge is you find that you have limited computers. So it becomes a big issue when it comes to handling a large class. Yes, for us as Standard High, we have tried. Currently, I see we have 70 active computers in our computer lab, but still we feel those computers are not enough, depending on the number of children we have. So it is one of other bigger challenges we have as we are trying to implement this lower secondary curriculum. But for in all, we have embraced the curriculum, we are moving the curriculum, and we know that it is going to take us to a certain level at the country, and we shall enjoy, we shall see the fruits of this new curriculum. Thank you so much.
Omwaka ogw'ekumi-abiri government ya Uganda nerabira Ministry of Education ekaleta enyegesa empyaka ebakweta competence based curriculum CBC. Eno enyegesa ekyokubanza yakesha amasomo kuga amasomo gabale nebegesa kuga amasomo 18 yagakesha gasigara amasomo 12. Hati eno nyegesa still netendeka abana kwehanga innovation ne promotinga nemirimo y'emikono skilling. Baitu abana bakozere abakuja kukora ebizamu bya senior kana abatahire mu senior 1 batandika eno curriculum hati guno mwaka bali mu senior kana nikimanyisa mu kwezi kwa 11 kwa 10 cha kuona bakora ebizamu bya senior kana hati ekizibu kinyakoro kilingu amasomero mengi abegesa bengi mu masomero mu Uganda yona bachali stack ekitongole ekigezesa abana kya UNEB ekikubanza kikakozera samples zebizamu nijja kuisana bitu akuba curriculum enkuru emaliriye no mwaka gunya kukoyira iyo bene emphasizing muno ebintu bya kuramu mwaka bitu eno curriculum empya Kenya kuizire na emphasizing omwana kutekereza muno ekibakuta critical thinking na omwana kugarisha obwongo kibakuta analysis hati ebizamu bya UNEB inakusetinga binakuba nibigamira omwana kutekereza muno omwana kuchenchura muno ensonga then okwehanga. So amasomero mengi tigamanyire UNEB ejja kusetingite bikaguzo. So UNEB tukitere ekoleka bakweta sample questions ebizamu bijja kuisana bita inakusetinga bikaguzo sample questions ebisindiga mu masomero nuko abana babigezemu. Then ekya kabiri UNEB ina kutendeka abantu by examiners abakuja kugora ebizamu ebi. Then inakuteleka n'abasomesa bona in general kumanya ngu no barabana basetinga ebizamu mu classes za hansi babene basetinga within mu nkora UNEB.
In secondary school with the new curriculum, it's not easy for us. It is something which is new. So we are now a bit worried. How is UNEB going to set exams? People are not informing us. The ministry is just taking up the teaching and learning as it is required. But we have not received the samples from UNEB to see how exams will be set. So teachers just teach, mixing old curriculum and a new curriculum. But the advantages of the new curriculum is just because it is child-centered. You find most of the students are moving at the same pace. Other than the old method, where a teacher would come and teach and go. But with the new curriculum, it is okay. The standards will just move like that. Students almost at the same pace.
No.
Focused at passing exams. But the teaching of the new curriculum may focus the child, even if he drops out of school, to have developed skills, he can use them and so on. But today, we are focused, as you have been saying, you are in O level, you join A level, you go to the university, we say you have studied. That's the case. But with the new curriculum, you can study the skills, you get out, you have studied. That will be okay for you.
So what would you want UNEB to do? as in terms of examinations?
UNEB has been promising that it will give us sample questions. Because to them they are calling them scenarios, which we don't understand. So we cannot guide our students how to read, how they will write the exams. We are just in that confusion. Like the old curriculum where you say a question is set like this, the approach is this. But as per now, we don't know how students will approach the exams. And they are sitting this year. The first phase is this year.
Musaki Elvin. I'm a student at Standard High School. I'm in senior 4. I'm very grateful for the new curriculum because it has brought a lot of changes in our education. But though, right now as I'm in senior 4, we are going to do the UNEB and we really don't know how the exams are going to be because the curriculum changed. We don't have any past paper that we can read. We don't have anywhere we can get knowledge about the questions that we are going to do. We just do scenario-based questions at the moment. But I would like to request the Ministry of Education that at least before we come to do the UNEB exams, at least they should have sent for us something like they should have sent for us an example or a sample of a paper, like how the paper would be like, and so that we can come to know that when the paper comes, we shall do such a paper. It will be set like this to avoid complications because it is a very big problem. We don't know how the papers will be and it may lead to the failure of this year because the exams for real, we don't know how it is going to be. Thank you.
Your name?
I am Soki Elvin.
My name is Bariji Ospat, a student of Standard High School Nyamwamba Senior 4A, and I'm one of those who offer. I'm in new curriculum, and my appeal is going to UNEB. I'm asking the UNEB, please provide us with some sample papers of showing how the paper will look like. We are here, we are studying, we are revising each and everything, but we don't know how the paper looks like. We don't know how the color of the paper, and we are just studying, but we are not even sure of what the paper will be. I'm appealing to you, I'm begging so that you can at least provide each subject with a sample paper that shows how the paper will come up, will look like.
The ones we have in the dormitory. Yes. 4 by 6. People are having mattresses 2 by 2. Yes. 3. That is it. There is a longest side which measures 6. Then the shortest which measures